Next up, we have Sasol, which was founded in 1950 to make oil from coal for the South African market. Today, Sasol uses coal, oil, and gas reserves to manufacture and sell liquid fuels and chemicals throughout the world. It is considering building a massive GTL plant in Louisiana in the USA. It has a market cap of 295 billion rand, a PE ratio of 10.8, and a dividend yield of 3.8%. So I want to jump straight to that gas to liquid plant, which they've actually put on hold on the back of the collapsing oil price. But they're still going ahead with the big ethane cracker, which is the chemical side of the business.
Yeah, certainly. If you look at that specific, we know that they want to stretch their balance sheet in difficult times. Their balance sheet are certainly fine. There's not much, almost no gearing evident in their balance sheet. So I think they're continuing there with $10 or $15 billion. They've actually postponed it by a bit of a year extra to do the ethane cracker, and if that's done, they're probably looking, if the oil prices are better, to actually do the rest of the business. But it still makes, the ethane business still makes sense at these prices where they're now in long-term wise. I mean, these guys have certainly got the technology in this space to actually a bit of disruptive guy in this gas and chemical and energy business. They've certainly proved that they know how to do projects over the many years. They got lots of projects across the globe. They're not just a South African company anymore for the last few decades. And they've actually been pumping earnings still, and that's because these guys are certainly more geared towards the currency than what they are against the oil price and other chemical prices, etc. So currency has been helping Sasol quite a bit.
So that's
over
obviously
the
a
last
nice
year or
protection.
two.
That's pretty close to home for you in Vereeniging, hey?
Certainly.
So let's go to that core business. I mean, as you mentioned, extremely profitable, turning coal into oil, very important for the South African economy because, you know, they supply a lot of the inland area with our petrol, and we don't have to import it. So, you know, that's strategically very important for the country in general. Let's have a look at the share price there, and we can see, as Gerbrand was mentioning, very resilient to the massive oil price collapse on the back of a weaker rand. Are you comfortable investing in a business like this where it's so reliant on two, you know, external factors like the oil price and the currency movements?
Yeah, look, we think their technology and their IP is worth a lot as well. So long-term wise, we're okay. So we do have a holding in Sasol at the moment. We've lightened up a bit a week or two back. So we took about a quarter of our holdings off from it. We thought where it was at 480 or whatever was a reasonable price with the variables where it is at the moment. But yes, they are very connected to the currency first of all, and then chemical prices and energy prices. So unfortunately that's part of their game, but there is opportunities within the cyclical world to actually start making money. It's priced at, I think, a price to book of 1.45, which is close to its cheapest it's ever been. So a lot of negativity priced into the share, although it hasn't fallen like some of the other companies on a global front, because the currency has helped it quite some bit.
Yeah, when you look at the inflation numbers yesterday, petrol price going up, I suppose if you want to protect yourself from a petrol price increasing in South Africa, buy yourself some Sasol shares. Are you hot or not on Sasol?
I'm going to go hot. I just think longer term oil price needs to be higher for us to be sustainable. But the next year or two might be a bit of a trading range for Sasol, but we will keep onto ours. We think from a South African point of view, it's certainly one of the better companies on the local bourse.
Again, I agree with you that it's an incredibly fantastic company with some great technologies, very well run, but I can't bring myself to going hot, so I'm going to remain cautious with Sasol because of the oil price.